Hey guys, so today what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this simple tutorial. It's how to get ultra perfect skin. So in my ideas, it's kind of like Ken doll Barbie skin. So if you wanna watch how we do this, continue and watch. All right, bye. Okay, so what I've done to get my skin to be as smooth as possible is I did a very close shave. So I used a very hot rag and then just let that set on my skin for like, I would say like 3 minutes or so, and then just opened up all my pores. I put on my shaving cream and then let that soak in for another 3 minutes. And then I went ahead and shaved with really nice hot water. So then after that, what I did is I just did my normal moisturizing and skincare routine. And then I threw on some of this stuff. It's called Beauty Flash. I didn't buy the full bottle, but I just got a little sample of it. And this thing is supposedly supposed to be like an instant kind of tightening, brightening, facelifty feel. So that's what I have on now. It's very glowy and dewy, which is kind of pretty. So that's gonna be what we have on our skin so far. What we're gonna do now is for Ken's skin, it's ultra perfect, so it's gonna be a lot of coverage. So we're gonna do NW10 or W10, which is just a very bright concealer color. If you can't get your hands on W10, then just like a very bright concealer, full coverage in your tone family. So if you're an NW, do a W, and if you're a C, do a C. So if you're warm or cold, just find the color that fits best for you. So this is way too light for my skin. We're going to use this as our highlight. So Ken's skin is ultra perfect, but it's also like dimensional, but it's not contoured and highlighted like strongly. It's very kind of like blurred. So just to do that, we're just basically going to do it with creams, which is going to give it a more kind of gentle feel to the highlighting and contouring. So center of the nose, center of the forehead, center of the chin, just like normal, but Ken also has like an insanely bright under eye area. So we're going to basically highlight this corner of the face. So into the tear duct, down to about the corner of the nose, and up through the cheekbone. All right, so now that we have all of this on, what we're gonna do next is we're going to slightly contour with a darker color of concealer. This one's NW25, which is more of like my summer color. But this isn't going to give it that like drag queen beatdown contour. It's just going to be a very subtle differentiation of color. So just do that throughout the normal places you would contour. So centers of the nose, through the outer corners of the cheeks. For foundation, the one that I'm going to be using is going to be Studio Fix Fluid. This one is in NW15. And we're going to do a pretty liberal amount of this, just because Ken is ultra perfect. And with this, we're really going to work it into the skin. The more you work it into the skin, the more it's going to feel like the skin instead of like foundation. Alright, so now that we have our foundation on, I'm going to go back in with that highlight color that we were using, and I'm going to just lightly bump up some of that color. So now that we have our skin on, there's a couple different things that you could do. You could either leave it just like this and be very super plastic looking, or you can go in and set it with a little bit of powder. I would be a little careful with powder. You don't want to use too much of it because then it's going to start to look very like thick because you already have a ton of foundation on. But I'm going to set it with just the smallest bit of powder, just so that we take down some of this glossiness and just have some shine. So we're just going to use Studio Fix powder, tons of coverage, and this one's in the matching color. And I'm just going to use a very fluffy brush, and we're just going to lightly tap this onto the skin. So you can still see some radiance popping through, but it's not going to be that like I just dipped my face in lip gloss sheen. So now that we have our skin slightly powdered, I'm going to go in and do my brows. So Ken's brows, in the picture at least that I'm looking at, are very defined. My brows are already super thick, so I'm just gonna give them a little bit of color. But I would just say do a very nice arch. Do like a pretty good brow. Just a little bit of lingering brow pencil. We're going to go in and just lightly kind of fill them in. And then I'm just going to go in with my concealer brush that I've used this whole time and just lightly clean up the edges. Ken has a tiny bit of eyeliner on, so to make it feel less girly, less kind of feminine and more masculine, we're not going to do it on the outside of the eyelid. We're going to be doing it through the upper waterline, and that's it. So then when we blink, it's going to transfer to the bottom waterline, but we're not deliberately going to be placing it there. So to do this, it's a little bit more difficult and a little bit more tricky. So what we're going to do is, if you want to at home, you can lift your eyelid up and then do it that way, or you can close your eye and do it that way. It's up to you. And just like close and blink and then just push it up against the top waterline. Oh, by the way, this color is called Costa Riche. It's just a nice warm brown. If you want to, you could do black. If you don't, then I would do a brown to make it feel a little bit less dark. And then he has a tiny bit of mascara on, so all I'm gonna do is go to the root of my lash and kind of wiggle. So it's gonna give me definition and a tiny bit of length. For the cheeks, I'm decided that I'm gonna do a little bit of Tenderling blush. It's just a very light, pale nude. And we're really gonna work this just on the bone. And then for the lip, in most pictures, Ken has a very bright pink lip. So to do that, we're gonna use Snob lipstick. And we're going to, I'm just gonna fill in the lip first. And then we're going to put on a little bit of Wildly Lush gloss. And that's gonna tone down the pink. Alright guys, so that is the finished look. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. It's just a super artificial way to make your skin look ultra plastic, but I feel like it's still believable. So if you wanted to, you could use this as an everyday routine, or if you're gonna be Ken or a Barbie or something for Halloween, go for it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I am so glad that you're watching all of my videos, and if you want to, I would love if you would subscribe so you can see next week's video. Alright, have a great rest of your day. Bye.